Hey, what's up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty. Here with a Raising Kanan Season 4 exclusive theory, okay? As I propose to all of you, how will Famous die this season? Who will kill Famous? What's most likely to happen to Famous by the end of Season 4? Because we know Famous is gone at least for a while, right? Before Ghost and Tommy come into Kanan's life, for the simple fact that Ghost and Tommy never really mentioned Famous like that. Now, the only reference that could have anything to do with Famous that have to do with Ghost and Tommy was the fact that in OG Power, Ghost and Tommy were rappers. So, do they meet Famous and are inspired to rap because of Famous, and then Famous dies right after they meet him? Or did they just hear about his music in the hood because Famous died, right? And became a famous rapper in his death, right? Posthumously. And is that what inspired them to rap? And is that one of the reasons why they ended up being connected to Kanan? I'm going to explain briefly what Famous is going to go through. I'm going to explain once again why I feel like Kanan will not be the one to kill Famous. And then we're gonna speak on the 2-3 scenarios that are most likely to result in Famous's death. Also, I have a legendary video that I put out last year where it seems that we may have seen Famous as an adult in OG Power, episode 6, with Kanan as they had a brotherly fight within his cell. Now, I'm not sure if the writers were crafty enough to connect that. I don't know if they intend on connecting that, but it's a great video. Go ahead and check that out. But without further ado, let's get to who will kill Famous. How will Famous die if he doesn't go to prison? Without further ado, let's get to it. So, we know what happened to Famous last season. He self-snitched on himself. Lou got him to self-snitch while he's making these songs. We know he had the gun stashed in Kanan's apartment, took the gun out. His mother found the gun within their house, right? Got him locked up. Now, one thing Famous did, he did save Kanan from being charged for Freddie's murder, because we're probably going to see the police run up in Kanan's residence at the beginning of Season 4, and the gun will be gone, and there probably won't be anything to hold against Kanan, right? But we know that Famous will be locked up, and at least for the first half of the season, it's likely that Famous will be in jail, as Kanan is dealing with the fact that he cannot use his weed business anymore to make money, and he will want to bail Famous out, okay? He will want to bail Famous out, right? Kanan will definitely bail Famous out if he has the opportunity. And of course, like I said, he will be facing issues, even though he will eventually get it done. And I explained in a different video that he will get it done by beginning to do robberies with Unique. They will have some kind of Jack Boy crew, right? This will be the way that Kanan puts the money together to bail Famous out. And now once Famous is out, there will be complexities. And this is why the fate of Famous can go in 1, 2, 3, even 4 different ways, even many other ways if you have a creative mind, right? Let's talk about Raquel's issues and how it affects Famous and the fate of Famous, or how it could affect Famous, all right? Raquel will find out she has a snitch within her organization. And I'm going to tell y'all right now that that snitch is possibly going to be Stefano. Now, because Famous knows a lot about the Thomas family, and the cops will be able to put that together, the cops will know that and will offer Famous a deal in exchange for his cooperation. Now, the thing that will make it tricky, right, with Famous is that Famous will be offered this deal, and even though Famous is not a rat, Famous has never given us any indication that he will ever be a rat. He will mess around and make the mistake of not telling anyone that he had this meeting and was offered this deal. Whoever finds this out, this is what will make it shaky and dangerous for Famous, right? And create doubt in him. Now, like I said, with him being in jail, it will cause mainly Raquel to want to knock him off. And this is before he makes bail, okay? Since she will look to blame Famous for snitching because she doesn't think he has the heart to remain solid, even though he always has. And I want to reiterate, Famous has already proven that he is solid. We know earlier on in the series when he went to jail, right? Even though he was a little nervous, he was prepared to ride it out, however long it took until he came home. He had no idea that Howard was going to get him out of jail. He was about ready to go to Rikers Island and deal with the situation. And then later on, when he's getting pressed by the police, he did not show any inclination of being somebody shaky who would snitch. He did not show any inclination, okay? Famous is solid. What could do him in is people not believing he is solid. He will not snitch. But now listen, Raquel will at some point tell Kanan that Famous has to go, right? But the only thing with this angle is that Raquel has already killed Scrappy by making the wrong assumptions, right? Which makes this angle less likely to happen. What I'm saying is, it may be easy to assume that Raquel will suspect that Famous is a rat and then have him knocked off. And I'm saying even if she suspects him to be a rat, it won't be her. It won't be her to knock him off, right? But she may ask Kanan to do it. She may ask Kanan to do it, and Kanan is going to be conflicted over at least half of this series because he's going to be like, no, Famous is not a rat. Famous is not a rat. And ultimately, I do not think he will pull a trigger on Famous, all right? And the reason why I don't believe Kanan will be the one to kill Famous, and it's very obvious, like it has to be extremely obvious, man, is because Kanan will ultimately name his son Sean, and it has to be after Famous, okay? So Famous will have to die in an honorable way, or a way that Kanan isn't directly involved. Because I have to tell y'all, I have to ask y'all yourselves, would you name your son after someone who is suspected of being a rat or proven to be a rat? Kanan is one of the realest that ever existed in the Power universe. He just wouldn't do that, okay? He wouldn't do that. So with that being said, I have 2 more ways that Famous is likely to die, okay? Freddy still has a crew, right? They will find out Famous killed him through the music and through the news of Famous getting locked up, right? He'll probably make the news, okay? So Kanan is also going to have to deal with the beef that's going to come from Freddy's crew, okay? Which is another reason why he will want to bail Famous out, because now Famous is in it as well, and they have to have each other's back. We talking about Famous's crew. Or Famous will die for Kanan in some kind of way after being bailed out, and this can still be connected to Famous's crew or any other issues that could come along in the play, because Kanan will begin to rob people. So whoever they rob could come back and try to get their get back. These are the things that we're looking at, okay? Famous is not going to snitch. It's not going to happen. And he will make bail. Kanan will be the one to bail him out. And remember, right before Famous killed Freddy, Freddy looked Famous in the face and said, "You don't even know what you just started." That can imply a lot of things. But you did not know what you just started, Famous, right? And pay attention to this, y'all. If there's not a lot of mention about Freddie's crew, especially a lot initially in the beginning of the season, then it's even more likely that Freddie's crew, people who know Freddie, are going to pop up and they are going to deal with Famous. They're going to try to kill Famous and Kanan. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Can't teach that shit, nigga. Come on. That's God-gifted. That's touched by an angel. That's on the dome, nigga.